All right, welcome. So this is the kind of like the open source design collective session. So where we just kind of introduce the what we're doing as the open source design group and just describing who we are and what we do. And yeah, just in advance, this is not an exclusive group or anything. Like we're an open collective of all kinds of designers, design-minded developers, people who want to improve the design of free and open source software. So yeah, every one of you who cares about that is very welcome. opensourcedesign.net. And yeah, please take photos. You can tweet or toot them or yeah, diaspora them. I don't care. Hashtag open source design. Yeah, so first we're going to do a bit of what we already have, like the platforms we already have. And yeah, Kathy, do you want to say something about that?
Okay, sure. So we have a website. It's collaboratively written by us on GitHub, so you can contribute. And on this platform, we are writing articles about design. So we're trying to keep up to date with what's new. But also we list the events, so we have a recurrent event every month, and you can see what date is there and what's new in the platform. And also we have the job post. Where open source organizations can make the request and they help for designers to come to help them. So here you can see if the job is paid or is gratis and what kind of type it is. So some are graphic requirement or UX, and you can do that for your organization. Or if you're a designer and you don't know where to contribute, you can use our platform to find out.
And then
yeah.
What do you want?
And then our major communication channel is the Twitter. This is the address, and now we have like almost 2,000 followers, and yes, we are trying to keep it up to date and marketing the events we're going like FOSDEM this year.
Please follow us so we get to 2,000.
Yeah, actually, better spread the word.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that multiple design joins. Numbers are not that important. Yeah.
Next to that.
Yes, sure.
Then yeah, if you want to get involved more, the website and everything else that we do is is on GitHub. So we have a GitHub organization. The website, yeah, opensourcedesign.github.io is that repository. We also have the jobs board. Like all we do is free and open source, and the events are there. So if you have like an event which is related to open source and design, you can also add your event there. So like we're kind of organizing some events like this, for example, this open source design room at FOSDEM or at FOSAsia, for example. We will talk about that in a bit also. But also if you have an event that you are organizing, or if you give a talk about design at an open source conference, or about open source at a design conference, or any of these, feel free to add them. Yeah, and feel free to join. And another thing that we have is an IRC channel, so also hash open source design. And this, I don't know if you know it, it's an IRC app. It's called Riot, and there we also have a community for all open source design related channels. So for example, you see we have GNOME design there, Riot's design channel itself, but also Wikimedia UX, Mozilla design, all these different design channels, so that if you want to get involved as a designer in these open source communities, you can look through there, for example. Yeah, and then this is last year's FOSDEM group picture. We will do a group picture right after this session, so we will do it the same way, so you will all be part of it. Yeah, if you want to. So yeah, and then we'll hear a bit about the events that we did this year, or the main events from Victoria.
Okay. What did we do last year? This is this year.
Oh, yeah,
This year, and I just want to advertise one particular event here. Teach Your Project at 4:30. So if you want to find people to work together with, if you want to find designers, if you just want to advertise your open source project, please come here. We will give you a stage in 5 minutes, and let us know what you do. We are very interested, and we will post it on our job board if you need any help. This is a FOSAsia event. Any of you been to Singapore to FOSAsia? Awesome, awesome, great event. And we also try to create, to make a design track there.
It's a very growing young community, and this year in March there also will be a design track. Please consider to come. We have stickers on your way out for Asia. Pick them up. Advertise for that awesome event. What's next? Ah, and I think you organized it.
So
Can I say, as for Asia, last year was the first year, so this would be the second, and for FOSDEM, we started in 2015, so this is our third year. Yeah, so it's.
and actually, yeah,
Fourth.
so yeah, this is the fourth dev room, and we have a booth this year also for the first time. And at FOSAsia, for the first, like 2 years ago, we also had a booth. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
FOSDEM is really important because this is where we met, so if we do it every year, this is our major event.
So another one is the Open Tech Summit that's in Berlin, Potsdam, and there we also organized an open source design track. So for example, Elio, who did the talk before this, was also there, and Jan from Wikimedia, for example, and a bunch of other people. And yeah, that's also one conference where we did like a whole track on open source design, like at a free and open source software conference. And yeah, we also, yeah, Bernard, do you want to say something about that?
We also had introduction to open source design at this year's.
Both years actually.
We were there. Yeah, 33C3 and 34C3, so the Chaos Computer Congress in Leipzig this year. We were in the free open source community area. We had lots and lots of people come. They asked lots of really interesting questions, and again, it was just a really positive reaction to talking about design and user-centered design in open source software, which was really good.
Yeah, I was actually part of the Free Software Foundation Europe Assembly, so thanks to them for hosting us. Yeah. And then, yeah, one big thing we did this year. Kathy?
Okay, so was last year, yeah. So was our first summit. So we gathered in Berlin. I'm not sure how many were, not that many, but 25. Wikimedia Deutschland sponsored us, and they gave us the place. So we had 2 days to do like a hackathon and code out the website, and also decide on what we want to do next. I hope we will do one again this year. We'll see if there's interest. And this is the picture from that event.
Would anyone be interested to come to an open source design summit in this year, huh? Nice. That's great. Cool. So we'll do it again, I guess. And anyone, please feel free to get involved and help organizing. So yeah, and then a few new things that we did during the last year. If you were here last year at FOSDEM, you maybe might have heard that introduction already, or you might have been aware. But these are some new things. So we have, for example, have a forum, a discourse forum. So we, for example, have a category on communication and collaboration, how to communicate with open source projects, and yeah, how to properly bring your design points across, for example. Also the events that we organize and local meetups that people do. Yeah, logo design and branding, interaction design, usability reviews. So if you're a developer also, you can go there and you can, for example, post a mock-up or post your current state of the interface or current logo and just ask for some feedback. Or yeah, as we mentioned, the job board we also have. You can just post a job there. If you know you need a new logo, just post it there. And that will also create a thread there, and there can be some conversation about around it. So the events, we post there in the forum, but we also have local meetups. So for example, we have a very active meetup in New York City. Unfortunately, no one from that meetup can be here. So hi to Dina, Julianne, and Jessica, I think. Yeah. So and lots more people who are there at the meetup. And yeah, so if you want to start your own open source design meetup in your city, yeah.
So if anybody is in London or anybody near London, can you put one of your parts up in the air? No? 2 people. Oh, two and a half people. Okay, 3 people, yay. So I'm trying to think if we can put together a London meetup. I'm sure there's somebody there that, would be interested. So if you want to have a chat about it later on, just let me know.
Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, Berlin meetup, for example, or Madrid meetup, or yeah. And then another big thing that we have is our donation platform. So we use this service called Open Collective. It allows you to take donations without having like a formal EV or something, which is a lot of paperwork. So actually, a lot of open source communities use that service. And yeah, we have like it's kind of like Patreon, you could say, where people pledge like €5 a month or €2 a month or something like that. But as you can see from the number, we had a recent big contribution, and that's very cool, from Discourse, and because they also basically sponsor our forum. So a lot of thanks to Discourse, and yeah, they gave us $1,000. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, that just happened in November.
And we use the money to print printers or no printers to print stickers and have the domain. So yeah, we kind of administrative stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, all kinds of like community-related stuff, like the stickers you see here. Please take some stickers, and yeah, posters and stuff like that. And another thing that happened last year was another similar community called Open Design, who is or was focused on bringing designers or getting designers more involved in open source. We were talking a bit, and we were doing kind of the same thing. So eventually we joined forces, and yeah, we just basically joined, and their domain forwards to our open source design.net now, and yeah, so that's very cool, because if we just work together, that's much better. I mean, that's what open source design is all about, just bringing all the people interested in this area together. And then since a year, I think, roughly, we're already FSFE affiliate organization. So yeah, it's just an organizational partnership, and because we stand behind the values of free software and the Free Software Foundation, and we just 2 days ago also finally applied to be an OSI associate organization, because we also like them, and of course open source design, and the logo also is based on that. And EFF also has what they call a EFF Electronic Frontier Alliance, so, and that's in the US. So thanks to our New York City meetup, we applied there too, and we're gonna join that soon. And yeah, as we already said, we have a bunch of stickers, a bunch of new stuff. First year we actually have stickers, so take some, put them on your laptop, and spread the word. And we have a booth downstairs, like at the end, at the cloakroom. And so, oh yeah, Belen, do you want to say something about the clinic, or? Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, you can, in the stickers, you can basically get the booth, and we also decided to run a little experiment. We call it a design clinic, and basically we give people 15 minutes to come with their projects and sit down with one of us, just have a chat about the interface. It has to be a generic one, obviously. Any recommendations you get are going to be kind of pretty generic and based on best practices, but it's still a good chance to hear about your projects and to just discuss some design stuff. So we'll be downstairs all afternoon. So feel free to drop by.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. As said, we're an open collective of designers working in open source. Every one of you who is interested in is welcome to join, or organize an event, or do whatever. Pretty proactive, everyone, and yeah.
And we just want to say thank you for supporting our room and showing your interest. We're growing every year, and it's all thanks to you guys. So applause to you.
Thank you. And yeah, are there any questions? Because we have some time for questions before we will do the group picture.
It's very clear then.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so what's the business model is the question. Well, we don't really have a business model of the collective, because the aim is just to bring, like, we're more of like an activist group or awareness group. And so individual people of us work in different free and open source software projects. So we're people from Wikimedia, from Mozilla, from Nextcloud, from XWiki, from Yocto, from different, or people who don't work on a specific project at all. So it's mostly bringing these people together, and because we exchange what we do, and because that way we make it better. Oh yeah, we also have people from GitLab. I forgot, sorry. But because we exchange the practices that we make also in this room, for example, we can be better as a result of that, and as a result of that, be more competitive, and maybe even have exchange on the base that we actually connect among each other. So, because for example, I think a real design or a real UX advantage that we have in free and open source software is that we can collaborate among each other. Because Twitter and Facebook are not going to federate, but whatever Diaspora and Mastodon or whatever Nextcloud and GitLab might do on some level, right? So you actually have a better chance of being competitive through that.
And also this group was very good to not feel lonely, because let's say, for example, if you find an organization and they're going to hire just one designer because they don't have the funds. So you didn't have anyone to talk to and share a thought. So yeah, but we don't make money from this, or we're just trying to promote it.
Yeah, it's a hangout. It's like Open Source Designers Anonymous, kind of. Yeah. Any more questions?
Sustainability of open source in general.
Right. I mean, it's a good point. Sustainability. So I mean, that's why we have this donation campaign also. So just to cover the base things. But yeah, I mean, every one of us kind of goes to FOSDEM anyway because of our projects that we work on. So I mean, of course, the summit, we get funding, for example, from Wikimedia Germany, so that's very cool. So yeah, we're not making any losses of it. We're not making gains, like money gains or whatever. But yeah.
And for the job posts, so organizations are encouraged to pay the designer for their work, but we don't handle that, so it will be something between the designer and the organization.
Yeah, and we don't charge for posting a job, because some people ask us downstairs.
Yeah.
Posting a job, a request for help is of course free.
Yeah, just to repeat for the microphone, we don't charge for posting a job. So feel free to post if you need a logo for your personal open source project or, yeah. Yeah, so it's so the question was, what's the summit like if it's a conference? So this time we did like a kind of a 2-day unconference. So yeah, people could propose at the morning what topics they wanted to talk about, and we had this grid of topics, and we had 2 different areas where we did like kind of workshops, and then we also worked on the website, for example, a bit. Yeah, it was very loose, but very productive, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, so the question is if we're also interested in helping designers who are not working on open source projects, like not using Adobe products, but for example, GIMP or Inkscape or whatever. And yeah, that's also a part. I mean, do you want to say something about that, Bilan?
Tools is definitely part of the story, but also, you know, free and open source software is different as well. So the development process is different. And for a designer, I had this experience myself. If a designer, if you're used to just work in commercial projects, it can be a bit of a shock because it's a different environment. And we are happy to kind of share our experience, share techniques that have worked for us, and yeah, not mentor, but just help in any way we can. Designers who want to come in and contribute, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people, especially here, were asking what do we exactly mean when we say design, and at some point I just started saying like everything except database design. So because it has, yeah, and algorithm design and code architecture design, right? Because design, I mean, in our field, design is pretty clear that it's design, like interface design, UX design, visual design, all that. But just to make that clear, it's like all this. It's also hardware design if you do that, or yeah. I mean, UX design, logos and stuff. So it's we do it like on many different fronts. So for example, where you can find free and open source licensed fonts or icons or resources, or how you can use Inkscape and GIMP. But I mean, you don't need to. It doesn't matter. Or how you openly license the work that you do, or you use open formats to publish them, or that you work on open source projects. Right? It's so many fronts.
And I want to make just one note regarding the job posts and the types. So we have a few graphic designers, some are only on research or on usability, and some organization, if they're going to post their request on our platform, we are now currently too few to handle all. So don't be discouraged if you post it and we are not able. If you were to have multiple designers, would be great, but at least it's a start and it's a place for you to do that.
Yeah, and if you don't want to get involved like super much right away, just look at the job. If you're a designer, just look at the job board and maybe look at like making a logo, for example, for some organization who needs it. Like we don't like control that, and it's not just us who do the jobs. We aim to bring the people together who need it and post it. Yeah.
Do you have like resources for setting up a meetup?
If we have resources for setting up a meetup.
Tips or
Okay. Right. So I mean, best that we always do kind of is in the forum where we have the meetups topic. We just open a topic for the city, like with the city name, to see if other people are interested. So very likely there's other people in the city, or maybe other people know some people in that city, and then yeah, we just kind of grow in, like small steps, right? And yeah.
And we also have a monthly meetup online, so it's the first Tuesday of every month we're trying to do. So yeah, we can discuss online.
Yeah. There was a question there also, or no? Okay. Yeah.
Is your monthly meetup in the IRC?
The question is if our monthly meetup is an IRC. Our monthly meetup is in a video chat, and we have the address on the website. We're using Jitsi mostly, so yeah, just video chat. But we're also regularly on IRC. So if you just drop by, you can make the monthly meetup. Yeah, that's fine. Or in the forum. I mean, that's also a good start, I said. And you can introduce yourself there also. And, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we take the photo now. So we will take the photo